All right, class. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so now tried something different. Okay, so now what language are you doing today?
Turkish.
Turkish. What is Turkish? I don't know. What is? I don't know. What's that in Turkish?
Oh, günaydın means good morning.
Good what?
Good morning.
Good morning. Is that in Turkish?
Yeah, no.
Good morning.
Turkish, it's günaydın.
Good Aydin?
Günaydın.
Good Aydin.
Good.
Gun Aydin.
Yeah.
Okay, good Aydin for all those people in YouTube land. That one person that watched my video. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go over this. So the derivative of a polynomial function and the derivative of y equals e to the x. I like this one. Y equals e to the x. Now, because certain things that I tell you guys all the time, okay, that we need to know. E to the 0 power is 1. 1. 1. Thank you. All right, good. All right, so find the derivative function at a number c. If f is a constant, then f of x is equal to a, then f prime of x is equal to 0. So the derivative of a constant number. Okay, think of the graph. Constant number, what's it look like? Straight line, right? Okay, so straight line. So the slope of that is 0. So the derivative of a constant is 0, always. Derivative of a constant, it's always going to be 0 because the slope of that line is 0. Okay, so it's constant, then a is a constant, then this is another way of writing it. The d over dx. So it's the derivative of the function, whatever it is, in terms of x. Derivative of the function in terms of x is equal to 0. Okay, so derivative of x. So let's say, for instance, you paid attention in any math class up to this point. If I have y equals x, what is my slope? 1, right? It's the number in front of it, right? Okay, so if it's just 1 right here, right? So just 1. Okay, my m equals 1. So it's the number in front of that. So there is a way, there's a process to try and get this too. So we're going to go through and try and find that. So the process goes like this. The derivative of a power function, y equals x to the n, where n is any number greater than or equal to 1, okay, is an integer. Then the derivative of x raised to an integer, where n is greater than equal to 1, is n times x raised to the power of n minus 1. So, plain English, what do you think that means?
The derivative equals n, any number to x.
No, plain English, super plain, like basic English.
It's just saying that the derivative is like 1 less. The exponent is like 1 less.
There it is. Plain, super plain English. The derivative is 1 less than the exponent, right? So, if it's x squared,
Dx.
you take away, it's actually going to be 2x, but yeah. Okay. We're getting on that, though. Okay, we're getting on that. So, but that's what we're doing. We're taking away 1 from the power. But then that, if you notice right here, it's going to be whatever that number is, goes there. So whatever that number is starting out goes in front. So if it was a 2, the 2 goes out front, and then I take 1 away from my exponent. That's a super basic English. All right, so how about this one? So find the derivative of x to the 4th. What did I say happens to that power? Goes out front. So it's going to be 4x to the 3rd. All right, what about this next one? So g prime of x is 10x to the 9th. So I'm hoping and praying that everyone gets all this homework done tonight so you don't forget this, because this is going to be the easiest stuff we got. Constant multiple rule. So if there's a number in front of it already, we just times it by that number. Basic English. There's a 5 there already. So let's go ahead and do that. So what do I do with my power?
The same thing. The minus 1 would be 2.
So you're saying it's going to be an x squared, right? Okay, but now what do I do with that 3? Multiply it out front. So there's already a 5 there, so 3 times 5 is? And my notation for this is f prime of x. Same thing on the next one. What are we going to get? Negative u. So I get negative u. So g prime of u is going to be a negative u. Questions? Because I am going to fly through this, because this is easy. Okay? All right, next one. So that pi to the 4th. Is pi a variable?
No.
It's not a variable, is it? So in this term, right here, in this whatever we're doing here, pi is a number. Okay, even though it's really not a number in its idea. No, wait, no. Infinity's idea. What am I thinking? Pi is a number. Yes, pi are delicious. All right, so pi to the 4th is a number. So let's go ahead and do my exponent. So it's going to be x squared. And in front I go what?
3 times pi to the 4th.
Yep, 3 pi to the 4th is my u prime of x. Jess? Are you good? Looks like you're kind of zoning out. This is just like, yeah. Okay, so now if I have 2 of them, I can break it up into separate parts. So just take, think of a trinomial. Trinomial has how many terms? 3 terms. Take the derivative of each term individually. That's all that says. Okay, so right there. So let's do f prime. F prime of x, so like I said, take the derivative of each one individually. So my first term is going to be what? 8x to the third, right? X to the third minus 12x 2. Very good. So when I have this right here, remember that x goes away and the slope is this piece right here in front of it, right? So it's going to be this. Now what is this one right here? So what did I say the slope of a constant is? 0. So that piece goes away, doesn't it? So that minus 3 just goes away. There we go. And now it says, what is f prime of 2? So f prime of 2. What am I going to do with that 2? Plug it in. Go ahead, do it. All right, so what do we get? 42? 42. That is the answer. I guess we finally found the question. Y'all stink, seriously. Huh?
It's 42. If you Google like the answer or the meaning of life, and it gives you like the whole 42.
Yes, but they didn't have the question. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? The answer's 42? Man, you guys all... Y'all stink. Seriously. I wouldn't even mind if you just watched the movie on that one, but come on.
I know of it.
Anyway, alright, you know of it. Anyway, alright, so what does that really mean in these terms?
The slope at point 2 is 42.
Yes, the slope of point 2 is 42. The rate of change at that point is that it's going to be going up 42, right? So the slope is going up 42 there. All right, find the slope of the tangent line to the graph at that point. Ooh. Find the slope of the tangent line to the graph at the point 1, -5. 1, -5. So, what do we have to find first? Say it.
See?
C? Someone say the slope.
Slope.
Yes, slope. That's what I'm looking for. Why is the slope going to be different than this one right here? It's a different x value, isn't it? It's a different x value. So I first have to find f prime of 1, right? Okay, so f prime of 1. So I need to find the slope when x is 1. I know the slope when x is 2, but because this function right here is not linear, the slope is not going to be constant all the way across. So the slope is different at every point. So if you could please plug that in to get what we get, and we don't throw a fit. What? -2. So my slope, so in my equation of my tangent, that is my m value, right? Okay, so I'm going to set up the problem for you so you guys could actually see it. I want you people to actually do the math. So I know it's going to be y minus what value? Say -5. Because this is the point that I'm using, right? So y minus -5 equals m, which is -2, quantity x minus 1. You guys could do a little math here. Coffee. Out of coffee. What are we going to come up with? My equation is what? Y equals -2x minus 3. So there's going to be part C, right? Find the slope. Find the equation, find the normal. There we go. What do we know about the normal? Very good. It's opposite reciprocal of the slope of the tangent line. I know it is perpendicular to the tangent line. So opposite reciprocal of that, so I know my slope is -2, right? So insert page after. So I know the perpendicular is going to be what? Positive 1/2. At the same point though, right? So it's going to be, let's see, y minus -5 equals 1/2 x minus 1. Yes? Okay. I think this is part E. Is it E?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, E. I'll put an E right here.
Where did the 1/2 come from?
Okay, so what's the slope of the tangent line? Right here, right?
Yeah.
Slope of the tangent line is -2. But the normal is perpendicular to the tangent. So it, show of hands, so the people at YouTube land. So if this is a tangent right here, the perpendicular is going to be like this. So it's going to be an opposite and reciprocal slope. So the opposite of -2 is +2. The reciprocal of 2 is 1/2. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's where I got that. All right, what do we get? 1/2, right? Minus what? So that's going to be, yeah, okay, I'll take that. F, use technology to graph tangent line, normal line, graph of the point at that, right there. F at the point here. Graph of F. Okay, so let's put them all on there. All right, let's see. All right, so let's see what we got here. We have, hit tab again. No, there we go. All right. So my function in the first place was 8x cubed. 8x caret 3. Arrow over. What's the next one?
Oh wait, my bad. It was 2x to the 4.
Wait, for the original or derivative?
Original, F.
Oh, okay. 2x to the 4th.
Okay, 2x
To the 4th.
to the 4th. Arrow over.
Minus 6x squared.
6x squared.
Plus 2x.
Ah, crap. Plus
2x.
2x
Minus 3.
minus 3. There we go. So that's my function f. The next thing I'm going to look for is hit tab. And what is the tangent equation?
2x
No, tangent. Because I think it didn't ask for the derivative. It asked for f and then the tangent line, then normal. 2x, right?
Negative 2x.
Okay, so negative 2x minus 3. That's a 3. There we go. All right, so, and the point that I'm actually doing at is at point 1, which is right here. So it's only touching this point at this spot right here. Yes, it crosses at other points because of the shape of the graph, but you notice it is just only touching right there. So it's barely touching there. And then the normal line, so hit tab again. Normal line would be control. Okay, so 1/2 x minus 11/2, right? So at that same point right there, this is perpendicular to this one there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. All right. Okay. All right. So, just so you know, I have no clue what that anime is. If anyone at home is watching, leave it. Put it in the comments. I don't know that one. All right. Solve equations of inequalities and solving derivatives. Okay. Find the points on the graph where f has a horizontal tangent line. What does horizontal mean? You guys, show me horizontal. There we go. What's that slope? 0. So what would I do here to my function? Set which one equals 0? The slope, right? The slope equal to 0. So in this case, my derivative equal to 0, right? That's what I'm trying to get at here. So we got this. So let's do the derivative. So f prime of x is going to be 12x squared minus 24x. So I want to know where this slope is going to be 0, so set it equal to 0. So if I set it equal to 0, I get 0 equals 12x squared minus 24x. And this is the point where everyone just says F that, right? Okay, we need to factor this to figure out where. So I can factor out a 12x, and I'm left with x minus 2 equals 0. Set each one equal to 0 using the zero product rule. So in this case right here, where 12x is equal to 0, I get x is 0. And where x minus 2 is equal to 0, x is going to be x is 2. So those are my two places where this function is going to have a slope of 0. Okay. Now, where is f prime going to be greater than 0? Where is it going to be less than 0? So with inequalities, this is a super neat trick here. So we're going to do a number line. So I'm going to start 0. What's the next one? 2. There we go. All right, so f prime is going to be greater than 0. So let's see. I'm going to start plugging in numbers. Just plug in for the derivative on this number line right here. So I already know when x is 0, it's going to be 0, right? And when x is 2, it's also 0. So using this little number line trick, it's going to help you out. So just pick a number on this side.
-1.
Okay, so -1. Plug in -1 to this. So f prime of -1. Positive or negative? So it's positive 36. Positive 36, so this is going to be positive slopes there. So everything on that interval is going to be a positive slope. All right, so now let's pick in between 0 and 2. F prime of 1. -12. So that means that's a negative slope in between those intervals. And let's check the other side. So let's do f prime of 3. I think so. I know it's some positive number.
It's 36.
36? Okay. So 36, so this is also a positive number. Now, using your hands, I want you to think about this, okay? When you're talking about slopes and use your arms and all that, we know 0 slope is right here, right? Okay, that's 0 slope. Flat is 0 slope. But now, show me a positive slope with one of your arms. Now, because we're reading it from left to right, positive slope here with your left arm. Left, because I want you guys to match what I'm doing, okay? So positive slope. So now with your other hand, at point 0, it's going to change to a negative slope. So what do you think is going to happen right there? It's going to look like this. If it's going from positive to negative, what type of value is up here? It's not really pointy, but yes, it is going up, right?
Maximum?
Yeah, that would be a maximum, right? That would be a maximum of this. So this is going to be one of the maximums. So it's going to be either a relative maximum or an absolute maximum. But there is going to be a maximum here, right? Okay, so now, let's go over to the point positive 2. So now, with your left hand, since we read left to right, show me a negative slope. And then on the other side of that negative slope is a positive slope. Now show me that. What does that make? That one's going to make a minimum, right? So if it changes from a negative to a positive, that's going to be a minimum. If it changes from a positive to a negative, that is going to be a maximum. And so just so you know, okay, I've been doing this for years. Even during the tests, like even at the AP tests, I look to see people are still using their arms for a lot of this stuff. Okay, it is, I know it's kind of juvenile, but guess what? It works. It gives you a picture of this. And if you think about it, and you're like, oh yeah, look right here. It makes sense. So right here, we know, okay, this is going to be some type of maximum, or this one's going to be some type of minimum.
It could be both relatives.
It could be relatives. It's x to the third, right?
So it's gonna be like
Okay. Now, it's x to the third. What shape does x to the third make?
Squiggly.
Okay, so right, is this going to be an absolute max and an absolute min? No, because x to the third, if it's positive, it's going to end at a positive infinity, right? It's going to go up to infinity, but it also goes down to negative infinity, doesn't it? So these are going to just be relatives. That's why. All right, let's see. I think we're getting really close to being done. Ooh, one of my favorites. The derivative of e to the x is e to the x.
what? The slope of the self is itself.
The slope of e to the x is e to the x. It always is. So, I could go through and do the math and show you how this is derived, but usually throwing in that much logarithms at the beginning right now, we'll do logarithms later too, but since a lot of people don't fully understand what logarithms are for, it ends up confusing people. So let's just say this is basically an identity. So e to the x is just e to the x. Okay, good. All right, so now find the derivative. So f prime of x is going to be
4e to the
4e to the x
x plus 3x squared.
Bam. That's it. All right, that's it. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. Tomorrow we're going to have a day to work on these homeworks, and I'm going to give you more work tomorrow.